Welcome to the masterclass. This is a presentation all about how to find success in sound healing, how to find a system and a model that I've figured out over the years. I've been doing this for a very long time. This has been my full-time lifestyle. I haven't had to work a job in many years because I've figured out these systems to make an abundant income from sound healing, which has been an amazing and incredible journey. But I want to talk to you first about my origin story, about how all this got started. So, 12 years ago, I was pretty miserable, right? I was working in an oil mine and driving these giant trucks around for 12 hours a day, 12-hour shifts, days and nights. And I was living in these camps and it felt like sort of prison, you know what I mean? I was just like in this place where I got this job. At first, I was happy because it was a high paying job. But then within a few months, I just started to become like absolutely miserable because I had nothing in common with the people that I was working with. And I had to suppress my true essence every day. You know, I'm a pretty sensitive guy. I'm an artistic person. And the people I was working with were like sort of the opposite of that. They were pretty rough and gruff, you know? And yeah, I was working these 12-hour shifts just for the paycheck. I had no passion at all for what I was doing in this job. And I was also at the same time going through a pretty heartbreaking situation. You know, I'd gotten out of this relationship that was pretty meaningful for me. And it was, yeah, just someone who left me completely derailed. And all of this dissonance inside of myself was leading me to escape in terms of like, you know, doing drugs, alcohol, my days off. I was escaping like all sorts of seeking fleeting pleasures just to escape the pain that I was in my life at that time. And I started to realize that, you know, I kept falling on my face in life over and over, and things had to change, or all of this was gonna just take me under. You know, I was honestly like at death's door. I was really like not in a good place. And so I started to seek out ways to get better and find my way out of this mess that I found myself in. And so I started my healing journey. And I didn't have anything to do with spirituality at the time, or I didn't know anything. I just started going to like yoga classes, and yoga started to give me some relief, and it created what I found to be mental and emotional balance. And this spark through this yoga practice gave me some insight that it was possible to shift my inner world emotionally through holistic wellness practices like this, which then led me to seek more ways to develop that inner sanctuary within myself and start to feel better in general. And so I committed to this path of personal development and spirituality, and I enrolled in a shamanic apprenticeship. I joined a men's work organization. I worked with psychedelic plant medicine ceremonies. I got smarter about my diet and what I was putting into my body and exercise, and I was attending wellness seminars, and I went to Tony Robbins, and like I was just doing everything. I was doing breath work. I started just like following this thread of like seeking personal development and improvement. And over time, through this journey, I started to discover what my gifts and values are and what I was meant to be doing with my life. Uh, and through this journey of seeking out healing modalities in a variety of fields, I discovered the power of sound healing. And sound healing is something that I was immediately drawn to, um, because not only is it like tremendously impactful when you're on the receiving end of it, but it intrigued me because I'm also a musician, and I have musical background. And so because of my musical background and because of sound healing has musical elements to it, I found it very intriguing because I didn't even know that sound and vibration could have that kind of positive impact in terms of psychoacoustics and resonance and vibroacoustics, like on the physical body, and positively impact your health and your wellness. So that experience, that first sound bath that I was on the receiving end of, led me to this sort of obsessive interest in the therapeutic benefits of sound and vibration. And I was compelled to follow this interest, and I began exploring sound healing in more depth. And I started out small, so I just started buying some, like I think a lot of us do. We start by buying crystal singing bowls. That seems to be like the entry point of people who are interested in sound healing. So I bought some crystal singing bowls, and then I bought a gong, and then I started reading books on the topics of sound healing. And I attended workshops and trainings, and I continued to collect sound healing instruments and tools and instruments until I had enough knowledge and skill to start putting together sound bath sessions for people. And eventually, I started offering one-on-one sessions for family, friends, acquaintances, anyone that was interested in coming into my home and getting these free sessions. And all I was asking for in return was their honest feedback so that I could understand what made a sound bath effective and impactful, right? So this would be called sort of my research and development phase. And this is what was foundational for where I'm at today. This is where I got my reps in, and I started to start this journey of becoming masterful as a sound healing facilitator. So over many months of doing this, I felt somewhat ready to bring this out into the public, and I started to offer it at a yoga studio, the yoga studio where I started this whole healing journey, which was sort of a full circle experience. So I went to that yoga studio. I knew the owner, and I said, "What would it be like if we offered a sound bath event at your space?" And they agreed, and this is where this whole journey started. And this was the birthing of SoundQuest. This is what I decided to call my brand, SoundQuest, my sound healing business that has now helped thousands of people heal through the power of sound. And SoundQuest has been my passion for many years now, and that has helped a lot of people. Like it's served thousands and thousands of people now, and it's allowed me to live a financially abundant lifestyle because of the systems that I've created to make this into what I do for a living full time. And that is what I now teach with SoundQuest Academy. SoundQuest Academy is all about the systems and the models for sound healers to follow so that they can also create a lifestyle business with sound healing that can generate a six-figure per year income. And my passion is teaching sound healers and aspiring sound healers around the world how to leave unfulfilling work and go all in on their passion for sound healing, or stay at their current work if it is fulfilling and do this part time or on the side because it's a fantastic, what you call side hustle. Yeah, and I just have to say this has been an incredible journey. It's been the most enriching work that I've ever done, and it's the first thing that I've done for work in my life where people are literally lining up to thank me afterwards. And that feeling is priceless to me because I've always, before this, I was working these sort of thankless jobs with mean bosses or unpleasant coworkers and that sort of thing. So to me, like every time I go out and I host a sound bath event, I'm in such gratitude because this is like nothing else I've ever experienced. So yeah, it's just priceless knowing that I'm getting paid to do something that I enjoy. It's something that I've gotten good at and it genuinely helps people. And outside of sound healing, I get to live a pretty awesome lifestyle as well. Because I get to design my own calendar, my own schedule, and it gives me a lot of freedom and flexibility and a lot of time to do other activities that I enjoy, like travel and recreation. So today, I am excited to share with you three keys to success that I've figured out that will help you understand the necessary steps to make sound healing a successful and profitable venture. These are three keys to success that I've figured out over the years that you might want to know if you want to make sound healing what you do for a living, or, like I said, at least a secondary income stream. You will need to create a structure and have systems in order to ensure that your income streams can match your living expenses and your lifestyle costs so that you can potentially do this full time and not have to work in a situation that you don't enjoy. And you can be free to do this, something that you are in control of and are passionate about, and create an incredible lifestyle and an impact driven business. It is kind of impossible for me to teach you every detail of what I know about creating this system around creating a successful sound healing business during this uh, 1 hour or so masterclass. So if you want to go deeper into this work with me, I'll be sharing an amazing opportunity with you later on. But first, let's talk about the first key to success in sound healing. So, this is all about owning your uniqueness and creating your own brand and your signature style so that you can stand out and have good positioning in your region and your marketplace. Sound healing is exploding in popularity, especially in the last few years. And it's an increasingly popular modality in the wellness industry. So it's important to position yourself both as unique and as an authority in your region. So you want to create your identity as a sound healer to become trusted and magnetic and attractive. And that means creating a brand around your sound healing business and a signature style, something that's truly unique to you. Being a sound healer and creating a sound healing experience and events for people is both an art and a science. So this is about mastering your craft and understanding the fundamentals and the techniques of sound healing and the instruments you're working with and developing yourself like an artist. And to do this, you have to understand what makes you unique and commit to becoming an ongoing student of sound healing and honing your skills, investing in resources that are going to show you the best ways to facilitate sound healing experiences and how to create systems so that you are an amazing sound healer that provides outstanding experiences for people. So, owning your uniqueness is all about bringing forth your own personal gifts, your experience, your skill sets, um, everything you have experience in your sort of life's resume can channel through your sound healing experiences and your sound baths. And this is important because if you don't, then you're just going to be an average Joe sound healer that's not having people come back to your experiences. You're not building a reputation and a successful business for yourself. So you don't want to be the person who just buys some singing bowls or a gong and doesn't really know anything about what you're actually doing. And there is no energy and meaning behind your service, right? So you need to know how to perform a sound bath effectively and also create an overall experience that's unique to you and so that your clients will love you and rave about you and your events and your sessions so that they can tell people, they can spread the word. You can have all the best marketing strategies in place and do all the right things to get the right people to come to your sound bath, and you can do this and they'll come initially, but it won't be sustainable because it's not going to be an experience that stands out and impacts them on a high level. Because if you're not actually good at this and you haven't developed and honed your skills with your own unique signature style, then people will eventually stop showing up. You'll start to see a dissipation in attendance and clientele. So you won't get the momentum necessary to have a sustainable business. So if this is making sense to you right now, just drop a yes in the chat. I just want to know that you're engaged and listening still. So yeah, you need to know how to play the instruments you're working with correctly for a sound healing session. You need to know how to arrange your soundscapes effectively. And you need to have a strong foundation of skill and proficiency in performing a sound bath and creating the right environment. It's very important. And when you have your skill set dialed in for hosting uh, these experiences, your sessions are going to achieve the results that people are looking for, and you're going to continue to wow people on a regular basis. And then this is what will create positive momentum for you and your business. Because every event you do, every session you do for groups, for everyone you work with is sort of like a networking opportunity. And that's not the only way to grow your business, but it is a very significant way to grow your business. Is like the people that you are going to come across are going to start to become like portals to other opportunities. So people will spread the word and tell their friends and social sphere about you and your events. You'll start to build a way to connect with them on social media and in your mailing list. And you'll just create these ongoing relationships, which is going to organically help you grow your practice. So as you walk on the way will appear. I love that quote. As you walk on the way appears. As you embark on this path in sound healing, your uniqueness will start to present itself through your persistence and your consistency with it. And I always say repetition is the mother of all skill sets because you're going to learn so much from just taking the action and understanding that perhaps at first, if you're new to this, you're not going to be a complete master at it, but the repetition and the persistence will eventually position you as a go-to authority in sound healing in your region with your own unique style and signature and brand. So, yeah, you want a mentor, first of all, someone who's gone down the path ahead of you and can show you all the things to do correctly and all the things to look out for to avoid. That's super important. I think having a mentor in any pursuit, someone who has mastered the craft that you are seeking to master yourself, having someone, a coach, a mentor, super important. And then the practice, the persistence, the repetition, the sticking with it. the stick-to-itiveness is super important. And then just continue to get better, and things will naturally unfold and expand. What you focus on expands. So when you're really committed to this, it's things are going to happen. It just happens. You have your own effort that you put in, but then there's these miraculous things that start to happen where you meet people, opportunities present themselves, and things start to flow and expand sort of naturally. Okay, so let's talk about the second key to success for sound healing facilitators. So yeah, by the way, this is what is possible. Like I, when I first started, I never imagined from those one-on-one sessions I was doing in my home that I would get to this place where I was doing an event like this, where there's 520 people lying down, and I'm on the stage doing this massive sound bath. Like I could not have imagined. I felt like a sound healing rock star at this event. Um, so this is just one of many events that I've done, and they continue to just like blow my mind. The fact that there's so many people in the world interested in sound healing. Um, yeah, so I just want to show you like this was one of my biggest events I've done, and it was an incredible experience. And yeah, it was such a high peak experience for me that I had to share this image for you because sound baths, the best thing about sound healing is it doesn't have to be like these one-on-one sessions with people like a massage therapist. You can work on like hundreds of people at the same time as long as you have the right sound system and everything like that. But yeah, so that was a highlight of my career, and I just wanted to share that. So the second key to success in sound healing is having proven marketing systems. Um, again, just type in the chat if you are still with me. I want to know that you're still following along because I don't want to lose you in this presentation. I want to make sure you're engaged. So just drop a yes in the chat again. So the next key to success in sound healing is having proven marketing systems. This is highly important for getting your brand and your events in front of the right people so that people recognize you and you can consistently fill rooms, sell out your events, and get booked with private clientele. Marketing is essentially everything you do in your business to promote yourself and what you do. And this is how people find who you are, find out about you, they learn about you and your events and what you're offering. And this is how your audience gets to know you and how ultimately you sell out your events and create consistent and abundant income streams. So effective marketing is very important because if you don't know how to market yourself, it's very difficult to have a successful business. And that's why a lot of people don't think they can turn their passion for sound healing into a actual business because they don't know how to market themselves, which is why it's so important to have a proven system so that your events fill up and sell out consistently and your brand offerings are getting in front of the right audience. And I have a very specific system that I teach in my program so that marketing is easy, it's systemized and highly effective and proven to work. And again, a really great aspect about sound healing is that it doesn't have to be a one-on-one healing modality where you just work on one person at a time. So with sound and vibration, you can help many people all at the same time, all at once. And this means that your time in for dollars out from a business perspective can be significantly higher than that of someone that does one-on-one healing practices like massage therapy or acupuncture, physiotherapy, that sort of thing. So you can have a room full of people paying, let's say, 40, 50, $60 or pounds if you're over there in Britain, um, or in whatever country you're from, whatever your currency is, you can have people paying a good amount of money per person and do the same amount of time in and effort as a practitioner that can only work on one person at a time. Does that make sense? Say yes in the chat. So, for example, a massage therapist will charge about $120 for a massage, let's say, for an hour massage. And I personally charge $60 for my sound bath events per person, and usually have an average, if it's just a public event, right? I usually have an average of 25 people in the room with me at the same time. So if you do the math, I'll make $1,500 in one night in a 1 hour, 90-minute experience versus only $120 that a massage therapist would make in about the same amount of time. So I'm showing you this because if you can learn what I've figured out in terms of how to sell out sound bath events on a regular basis, then you can and you will make a really great living hosting sound bath events, um, as one revenue stream in your business, right? So um, I teach multiple income streams, but for this presentation right now, I'm just talking about public sound bath events where you sell tickets to individual people. Um, Getting hired by corporations and private clients and wellness retreats, corporate leadership retreats, all that sort of thing. That's a whole other vertical that I teach in my program. Um, but there's just not enough time on this presentation to teach that. Um, but when you have these proven marketing systems, you will be able to set up an ongoing circuit of sound bath events in your region that will be consistently sold out and bring you an incredible stream of abundant income that exceeds your lifestyle costs. And once you have these systems in place, you can then do sound healing full time and have the option to walk away from any unfulfilling work or jobs that you're currently having to show up for and step fully into your passion for sound healing. So, if you have the right systems and the right mentor and the right information, then this can be an amazing journey. Now, the third key to success in sound healing is strategic partnerships and collaborations. So, what is a partnership? A partnership in regards to sound healing is when you have people who you collaborate with who love your work and they love who you are and they're on board with supporting you and expanding your business and your brand. And they will help you in promoting your events to people in their audience and their community. So if you want to be a sound healer that's booked up and sold out consistently, then you need to have strong relationships, strategic partnerships with venues and individuals where you will be hosting your events and offering your sessions. So when it comes to strategic partnership venues, in this case, you want to be hosting your events at venues that come with a few key factors. You want to work with venues that come with an existing community and a strong following so that you can leverage their marketing for your events to fill them. So, for example, that very first yoga studio that I hosted my first events at, I had no following at the time. I had no clout. I had no reputation yet. But because they had been in business for almost 20 years, they had built up a huge community and following, and they had a big mailing list. And all we had to do is put a poster up on their wall, and they sent it out in their mailing list or their newsletter, and they put a poster up on the wall, and they um, shared it on social media, and the events would sell out. And I barely had to do anything. So that's the power of having strategic partnership venues where you're going to be hosting your events, because they have an existing community and following that you can leverage for marketing. And then you also want to have you want these venues that you're going to be working at to have the physical space and environment that is conducive to a high quality sound healing experience. Meaning you want it to be quiet, you want it to be serene. You do not want it to be close to like a busy street or have loud neighbors stomping around upstairs or adjacent businesses on the other side of the walls making noises. So you really want to make sure to do the due diligence before you commit to one of these venues, um, so that the experience of your sound bath is going to be high level and effective. There's nothing worse than hosting a sound bath event and there's some other noises happening in an outside environment that are interjecting into the space that can completely throw things off, and people will not come back, and they'll think of you and your experiences and your what you're offering as, not high quality. So it's really important to do your research before you commit to the venue that you're going to be working with. And then the third thing is you want to strategically create a circuit of these events at different locations in order to create a level of scarcity in between each community and each event in your region. So, one thing I learned early on was when I hosted an event too close together, like if I was offering sound baths 3 times a week at the same venue, the attendance would dissipate. But when I expanded it out and offered only one event per month, or maybe even one event every 2 months at each location, then the events had enough runway and enough time to fill and sell out. So that's an important model that I teach in my program and how to set that up. So these are 3 keys to success for sound healers. And these are a few keys that I've figured out over the years, hosting hundreds of sound bath events for thousands of people, that you can apply in your practice to achieve success and fulfillment. Now, there are other keys to success that I've figured out, that I don't have time to cover on this call today because I actually have another Zoom call with my students in my academy coming up in about 20 minutes. So I have to jump off this call. But um, yeah, like one major key is knowing how to get consistently booked with private clients. These are just some of the brands that I work with on a regular basis. Um, so I just thought I'd throw this in the presentation. So by private clients, I mean wellness retreat leaders, corporate wellness experiences, special occasions, festivals, like aligning yourself, aligning your brand with high paying clients where you get booked for a flat rate, like a significantly lucrative flat rate. And so then you can start creating multiple income streams and verticals in your business, not just public events like I was just talking about, but having availability to get booked for all kinds of private and bespoke experiences. The corporate world is catching on to sound healing now, and I love to see that. And they are bringing me in and others in for their leadership retreats, wellness retreats. I was just brought down to Mexico to do sound healing for a private group at this beautiful retreat property. I mean, there's so many possibilities in sound healing, but I think where things are going forward in this industry is getting booked with private clients, and they have deep pockets often. I was paid $10,000 by Range Rover there to do their Range Rover house in Whistler, British Columbia, for 7 days in a row. I was just sitting with VIP clients and guests, doing sound healing sessions, and it was a very lucrative gig. So, um, this is something I teach in my program as well, how to get yourself aligned with these private client bookings. So let's talk about the what I call the four stages of the sound healer's journey. So I want you to pay special attention here and try to identify which stage you're at right now. One thing that I notice is there's a lot of dreamers that I see that I talk to. They're thinking about becoming a sound healer. They're at their job, they're watching the clock, they're not really passionate about what they're doing. They wish they could be doing something that they were more passionate about, that's actually making an impact that they can see. And um, but they haven't really bought any instruments yet. They're unsure of how to even get started. And I think their biggest block and mindset is that they're just stuck in their patterns, they're stuck in their routine, and they don't know how to get out of it. And then there are the dabblers, and I see a lot of these. These are people who have one foot in, one foot out. Maybe they have bought the instruments, but they haven't really done anything with it. They love it, but they just don't know how to make it happen. And they don't take it seriously because they don't know how it's even possible. Now there's the doers. I see a lot of doers out there. And Instagram, for example, I see a lot of these people out there who are taking the action. They're doing it, but they're not really like making a full-time living doing it. They're just out there doing it, but they still have to work a job, or they still have to, um, make money in other ways, and instead of diving in full time. And this is great to see, like, but the barrier to entry in sound healing is very low. So there's no governing body that manages the qualifications of sound healing facilitators. So anybody can just go buy some singing bowls and a gong and call themselves a sound healer these days. And that's happening. And then you have all these people that are now offering like these 1 day certification, get certified, level one certification or whatever. And so you're seeing this like explosion of people out there trying to become successful sound healers, but they don't have the right tools and the right knowledge to make it actually happen. So then there's the fourth stage, which is what I call the six-figure sound healer. This is someone who can now live, make a living and live off sound healing. Someone who's gone all in. They have the right mentor, the right systems, the right support, the roadmap. And this is where you get to really start thriving, because once you get into that high income from sound healing, then you can be in much more control of your lifestyle. So if you want to be at this stage four, then I would highly recommend checking out SoundQuest Academy. This is uh, one thing I wish I had when I first started out was a mentor, someone who had gone through all the trial and error ahead of me, who'd climbed the mountain ahead of me, so that the path was just laid out and I could achieve my vision of becoming successful in sound healing in a much faster time frame without making all those mistakes. And honestly, like there's nothing more valuable than having an experienced mentor who's already climbed the mountain and can show you the path so you don't have to figure it all out by yourself, as well as a community of like-minded people who are on the same journey, which makes an environment for support and inspiration. And over the years, I've gone through a lot of trial and error. I've made the mistakes, I've corrected them, I've experienced bumps in the road to get to the point where I am now, where I've gained mastery over this niche and everything now runs smoothly and consistently, and I'm able to be free of any kind of 9 to 5 type of work, and I get to live fully in my passion where I'm designing my lifestyle and customizing my calendar. For example, I'm going traveling for a whole month in December into Southeast Asia, and that is something that I would never have been able to do at my old job because I just would they wouldn't allow me to have that kind of time off, right? So this is why I've created the Sound Healer Blueprint course so that you have the path. It's laid out for you. You can create an abundant income doing what you want to be doing, having a positive impact on a lot of people, and enjoying a greater quality of life in the process. And I've created this program so that you can master your unique positioning, your unique signature style, your branding as a sound healer so you can stand out, so that you can master a simplified way to market yourself that's proven and has helped me and all my students sell out events consistently and get booked with private clients. And then I'm going to teach you how to establish amazing partnerships so that you have great communities where you host your sound healing events and have effortless flow with that and have a system. And it'll just make your job as a sound healer easy. And I know there's a lot of people struggling right now to step into their purpose and their passion. And that's why I've created this blueprint for you so that if you're ready to step into sound healing full time or even part time, this is the program for you. So when you join this program, you're going to be investing in a proven system to implement into your practice that you're going to be enabled to make sound healing your full-time career and live the lifestyle you want to be living. Now, I want to address some main concerns I've heard from students before they jumped into this program. So, the first concern is usually around money. To me, this is a no-brainer. I show sound healers a pathway to make 6 figures per year. So, the investment in this program is like tiny. You can make the investment in this program back within a few sound bath events. And, I like it's going to cost you more to try to figure all this stuff out by yourself. It'll cost you more time, it will cost you more headaches, and you might even quit and give up and just move on and not even do this anymore because it might get frustrating. But if you have a mentor, this is like a fast lane to success. So the concern around investing in this program um, should be canceled out by just understanding what I just said, right? Like, how much is it going to cost you not to join this program? Um, yeah, it's just to me, it's a no-brainer, but that's up to you to decide. And then there's concerns around time. So some people think I don't have time or the bandwidth or the capacity to join a program like this. So this course I've designed so that you can go through it at your own pace on your own schedule. This program really only requires 1, 2, or 3 hours a week to absorb the information and implement the strategies. And you can go through it at your own pace, right? And you have lifetime access to this program. So there's no pressure. There's no, we meet every week and you have to be present. And if you don't get this done, it's not like that. What it is you go through the modules and the lessons at your own pace, on your own time, on your own schedule that works for you. And then you have live access to me and the community to reach out for support with whatever stage you're at in the program and in your business. And then there's the concerns you won't get the results. And I have a guarantee that if you follow the lessons and you implement the strategies that I show you, then you are going to get the results. So um, that concern that this might not work, yeah, it will work as long as you just meet me halfway and actually apply what you're learning and go out there and do the work. So I've created this program as a blueprint. I don't think that, well, so I'm going to show you some of my student testimonials after this, but I've created this program as a blueprint and as a roadmap for sound healers to follow to guarantee success. It's been tested and tried by real sound healers who are now thriving because they went through this program with me. And I'm going to show you a little video um, that will show what other students have experienced who have come through this program. So I'll just play this video. I don't think there probably is anyone that could have been on the fence more than me.
It started off as coaching, and I was quickly drawn towards like sound healing. And I've been struggling for a while, like a few years.
Since I enrolled and started, and immediately was able to see what I was getting out of it.
I was always told to like find a mentor, and it's really hard to find a mentor that will put in the time and effort to teach you. And I know you're successful. I've watched you successfully sell out your sound outs and whatnot, and you're very established.
The connection of the group and you, but the community of people, of being able to ask the questions.
The support from the group chat, like people asking questions, answering questions, and then you reaching out as well to like connect one-on-one.
And I liked everything, just the way you offered it and how you were available to all the students.
It's like you go from feeling totally alone and just like this tiny fish in a big, big sea to feeling support and encouragement.
It's been a really great container, and all the people that were in SoundQuest Academy this time around, I think it was meant to be.
I loved the way that you had it, like every week, make your logo, write your bio.
It's really laid out step by step and easy.
Like this morning, I sent an email for my event tonight and just, oh yeah, gonna send the email, and I know how to do all these things.
I went from being an amateur to looking professional overnight.
And it just simplified my whole process.
Crazy how it's transformed into what it is today, because this was not in my plan at all. So it's just gone in ways that I was not expecting.
Well, I don't think I've ever seen so much success since I started with you. Like tonight's event being sold out is very cool.
I can't believe how fast it kind of came about. It's because I think I was already up and running like just a couple weeks into the academy. Now I've been teaching multiple classes for the last 2 months, and it was the best decision that I made.
I've found that since I've offered services as a sound healer, and I'm having people show up that have never shown up before, like including family and friends.
You can be your own boss. You can do it the way you want to. You can figure out your own schedule. And I took the last 2 weeks off for spring break with my kids.
After struggling for like 2-3 years, I'm finally in a place where I feel like I am set up for success finally.
After 8 years of my life of sitting here in limbo, wondering where the hell my life is going and what I'm supposed to do with my life, it feels so damn good to finally get to where you know you're supposed to be and doing what you love and what you're meant to do.
It's like a blueprint. It's a blueprint, step by step, easy to follow.
But I'm feeling so good, like really, really good about things.
All right, so this program is ready for you to enroll and dive into today, and I'd love to invite you to join this life transforming program. So if you're ready to join, scan the QR code on the screen or use the link to sign up today. I'm going to be doing a major upgrade for this program in the new year, which you will have access to. So now would be the best time to join because this program's investment will increase in the new year. So it's just jam-packed with incredible value that you're not going to find in any other program around sound healing. And my guarantee is that if you apply these lessons and follow steps, you will get the results. So I'm so grateful for your presence with me today. You can also book a discovery call with me. If you are able to pull out your phone, you can scan either signing up now on the left, or you can book a discovery call with me on the right and just find a time that's mutually available for both of us on the Calendly link. and then we can have a deeper discussion if you prefer. But if you like what you saw in this presentation today, go ahead and sign up for the program. I guarantee it's going to be life changing, and you're going to be on the path towards success in a much faster time frame. So that is all for today, folks. I have to get on to another call with my students in the academy. So if there's any questions or you want to talk in more depth, book that discovery call with me and we can talk about how I can support you on a much deeper level. And I hope to see you inside SoundQuest Academy.